1965 University of Oregon graduate Ken Kesey. Ever heard of this book? Yep, he wrote it. He returned to Oregon from San Francisco, where he would spend the rest of his life. And around the same time, American rock band The Grateful Dead were making a name for themselves. Also, just like Kesey, becoming an influential figure in the counterculture movement in the 60s and 70s. They would form a strong connection, and in fact, the Grateful Dead's first performance under that name was at one of Kesey's acid tests, and despite being from California, the Grateful Dead's first concert was held at the EMU Ballroom at the University of Oregon. And over the course of their career, they would perform more than 20 shows in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon, obviously the headquarters of Nike, and to celebrate the 60-year connection to Oregon with the band, as well as the counterculture movement, Nike is dropping this special shoe. Grateful Dead, Nike MX90. And the shoe dropped on October 21st for $145. It is a three-way collaboration with Nike, University of Oregon, and the Grateful Dead, of course. I don't know anything about the Grateful Dead. I will confess. Nothing. I know they're a band. I know they are very influential in the counterculture movement back in the 60s and 70s. I know psychedelics has greatly influenced them as well, but that's the extent to my knowledge of the Grateful Dead. So I can't say this collaboration really speaks to me personally, but I do love Air Max 90s. It's my second favorite Air Max after the Air Max 1, and I think the way they did this shoe, even though it's very bold, a lot of colors going on, I think it gets the storytelling across while still being decently wearable. And the materials on the shoe, on the base layer, pretty standard mesh, what you would expect on a Air Max 90. I usually prefer leather on my sneakers, but one good thing about mesh, it is very soft, no break in time, and around the toe box area on the overlays, that is just leather. It is actually very, very soft leather, super soft. It's not like the thickest cut of leather, but it does feel nice at the touch at least. And over that, around the mudguard to the heel of the shoe, that is just canvas in this very bold tie-dye psychedelic kind of colors. And on the swoosh itself, you will see the layered green and yellow that is meant to represent Oregon's landscape. And the yellow part, this lightning shape, that is a reference to the Grateful Dead. But that kind of swoosh only exists on the lateral side of the shoe, not the medial side. And of course, you will see the Air Max branding on the cutout there. And the shoe also comes with this keychain with a dancing bear and duck hybrid, 5 of them. Of course, again, paying tribute to Grateful Dead and the University of Oregon. And that is just rubber. The stitching around the leather, I think that's a really nice touch. Moving on to the booty of the shoe, see Grateful Duck, of course, Grateful Dead and the University of Oregon. That's the reference there. In the middle, you get Grateful Dead's logo. And 9090, that is paying tribute to the show that they played in Watson Stadium. So custom branded there. That comes in like a rubber material. And moving up the tongue, just a regular Air Max 90 tongue with white laces out of the box and 5 extra set of laces. This is for all the times that I complained about Nike being too cheap to throw in extra laces. They're going to shove 5 in my face. And props to them. Credit to them. Obviously playing into the whole tie-dye, very bold colors of this shoe and the storytelling behind it. And I tried every single one of them on. I still think I prefer the white laces. So wasted effort there, but I will give them credit. And what stands out about the white laces are the lace tips. It actually has this lightning bolt, a reference to the Grateful Dead, which the extra laces don't. And the tongue itself, it is mismatched branding. On the right shoe, you get University of Oregon's logo. On the left, you get Nike. Behind the tongue, you will see this hybrid Grateful Dead and Oregon Ducks logo, and the phrase, "It never rains." And in terms of the cushioning of the MX90, you get a faux midsole with, of course, a Maxia unit. And the color of the midsole, it is kind of sail, kind of yellow, got this shade to it that I don't love, but they did it anyway. You get the waffle design of an MX with Nike branding, and the insole of the shoe, it is mismatched. So on one, you get the 3 brands here, Grateful Dead, University of Oregon, and Nike. On the other one, you'll get the same hybrid duck and bear, just like the keychain. The quality of these, hot garbage. In the box of the shoe, just a regular black Nike box. And in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. For MX90s, I generally go up half a size. I've gone true to size before. For whatever reason, the length just feels too short. Like it's very stubby, it hurts my toes, kind of hurts my arch area too. So up half a size I go. I recommend if you do have wide and flat feet, do the same. Overall comfort, Air Maxes I think are pretty comfortable. Cushioning, even though it's a little bit outdated, it's very ancient, it still really holds up. I could walk around in these all day. Surprisingly, Air Max 90s feel kind of light for the time, for how old the shoe is. So if you want to wear these all day, you shouldn't have any problems. It is decently high off the ground if you're used to like Nike Dunks or Jordan 1s, where it's very flat to the ground, might need a bit of adjusting. But if you like a thicker soled shoe, this could be for you. And that brings the total sole score of the Grateful Dead Nike Air Max 90 to 37 out of 50. Decent score compared to other collaborations. Now first, it is colorway. Tie-dye and like very, very bold and bright colors, not really my thing. Generally, it is a white sneaker with some bold colors, some bold accents. Not exactly my favorite colorway, but I think it is decent, especially considering the theme of the shoe. Now, in terms of the materials, can't expect the best on a Nike Air Max 90. Mesh, I don't love, but it's just regular mesh. The leather, I will say, is very, very soft. The canvas here doesn't feel like the best materials, and the swoosh also feels a little cheap, but that's nothing too surprising. And in terms of the comfort, I generally think most Air Maxes are very comfortable. They're old, they can be slightly heavier than like modern day shoes, but if you had to walk around in these and you're stuck with them on, it won't start hurting your feet. They're decently cushioned, they wrap around your foot nicely. And in terms of the versatility, I think the Air Max 90s, even though it is originally a running shoe, I do think it has become a very, very wearable shoe, like outside of running, just casual use. Wearability of the colorway, that might be where it's a bit tougher, because you do have a lot of colors going on. But I think if you're wearing the shoe, most people know what you're doing, especially if they know what the Grateful Dead is. They can see the point of it, but in a vacuum, just looking at it, I think all these colors will turn some people off. And in terms of storytelling, I think it's pretty well done. Grateful Dead branding inside the tongue, on the booty, University of Oregon branding also throughout the shoe. Comes with this keychain. One big, huge gripe I have is it comes with a regular black Nike box. They could have just went bonkers with the box, but a black box it is. Even though I don't really know anything about the Grateful Dead, that is the beauty of this little hobby of collecting sneakers. Forces you to learn something new, to look into something that you wouldn't have otherwise. And when it comes together and presented in a nice thought out way, there's nothing like it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. So inclined, let me know what you think of the Grateful Dead Nike Air Max 90. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come. But wear your shoes.